Okay, next we want to add a delete button called btn delete, and then we want to be able to use that. So now we have to think about how we are going to delete an item. So first of all, when an item is deleted, it has to be selected first. So the user has to select something in the list. So the first thing we want to make sure is that something is selected before we run the rest of the code. Otherwise, we might generate an error depending on how we write the rest of the code. But anyway, that's the way we're going to do it. So first of all, we want to just make sure that the user has selected someone. And then we're going to want to write some kind of code like this. When we delete, we're going to want to say, if the selected customer is not empty, it says if not, is not empty, then we want to run the code. So we're going to do it that way. There are a lot of ways to do it, but we're going to do it this way. So we want to be able to check to see if the customer is empty or not. And by that, all we're going to mean is whether the first name is empty. So this is empty part is a property of the customer. So we're going to have to write a property into our customer code. Remember, we have a separate place where our customer code is written. So we're going to add this property to that. And you can see that this is empty property is a property of a customer. And so we have this customer called selected customer. And that's the customer that the user has clicked on. And so we need to construct a selected customer as well. So going back to the previous screen, we construct the selected customer. Remember we said that. We want to make sure that a customer is selected. So we're going to write some code which makes sure that there is something selected, and then that something is going to be called our selected customer. So once we have that selected customer, we can refer to its isEmpty property and check whether it's empty. And all of that is just sort of done at the beginning up here, just as a kind of precaution, so that we don't kind of generate an error in case somebody doesn't actually select something, but they press the delete button. So really, if you weren't worried about getting errors and so on, if you're just kind of writing roughshod and doing it with kind of carelessly, but it will still work as long as, well, I should say it will work in most cases, as long as someone's actually selected a customer, then really you don't need all of this stuff. You don't need this. You don't need this. All you need is just one thing, just here. When you click on the delete button, all you want is my customers. So that's your array list, and it has a method called remove, and you just remove the selected customer. Actually, I guess you need some way of indicating which customer to select, which customer to delete, and then you just want to remove it from the list as well. So you just do listCustomers.items.remove that same customer. So that's really all you need. I guess you do need some way to indicate which customer has been selected, but you don't have to do it exactly this way. You could try and do it some other way, but here we do it this way. So what we do is we create a property called selected customer, and this is a property of form 1. This is not a property of the customer data structure. So this goes in form 1. So what is it? it says it's called selected customer as a customer, and it has a get method, which is defined from here to here. And it says, he explains it down here, but list customers or list boxes have a property called selected index. So when someone clicks on one of the items, the selected index will change depending on which one they click on. And if none of them are selected, then selected index is equal to -1. So he says if the index is not -1, then return the index of the one that was selected, and else return nothing. So that's what our selected customer property does. It when the user clicks on something, it returns the index. The index is something generated by the list box. You don't have to do that yourself. So it's already generated, but we can just access it through the selected index property. Okay, so the selected customer read-only property will give us the index that was selected. So actually, really all you need, instead of doing it with all of this, if you want to do it simply, again, you don't have to declare a property and all of this. You could just refer to this. When they click on here, you get the index, and then you could use that in the next slide. But he's sort of wrapping this in all of this as a selected customer property. But really, you could just use this.